Ahoy from BA. This is a Rorschach Ocean update from the 14th of January 2025, a summary of what's going down in the 70% surface of the Earth covered in salt water. On Friday the 10th, an earthquake with a magnitude of 3.7 hit the San Francisco Bay Area in the Pacific Ocean. The United States Geological Survey pinpointed the quake's location about 3 miles northwest of San Francisco at a depth of 12 miles or 19 kilometers, striking at 7 a.m. A smaller 2.5 magnitude aftershock followed at around 9:30 a.m. in the same area along the San Andreas Fault, which is one of the most dangerous earthquake zones in California. Authorities reported no immediate injuries, fatalities, or important damages. Daniel Lurie, the mayor, confirmed that first responders were inspecting for potential impacts. The San Francisco Department of Emergency Management urged residents to review emergency plans and supplies, emphasizing preparedness for larger quakes. Still in the Pacific Ocean, in a statement published on Thursday the 9th, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration said that the climate pattern known as La Niña officially began in December 2024 and will last through early spring before shifting to neutral conditions by May. As we explained in previous shows, this climate pattern features cooler than average ocean temperatures in the Pacific and can influence global weather. La Niña will remain weak and may have less impact than stronger events, but it could still affect winter and spring weather, including temperatures and rainfall patterns. Because of this unusual weakness, scientists will continue monitoring and sharing updates as La Niña progresses. From the Pacific to the Atlantic Ocean, on Monday the 6th, the BBC reported on a 2-week scientific expedition focused on studying the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, or AMOC. Scientists at the National Oceanography Centre in Southampton, UK, have studied the AMOC for more than 20 years, using advanced instruments placed across the Atlantic Ocean to measure water temperature, salinity, and pressure, providing valuable data for climate models. During the expedition, Dr. Ben Mowat and his team checked the moorings near the Bahamas, which are essential for maintaining their observations. The findings suggest that climate change might weaken or even cause the collapse of the AMOC, leading to severe impacts like extreme weather and reduced oceanic carbon storage. Scientists plan to monitor this system for at least another decade. More about the Atlantic, as on Tuesday the 7th, Gergo Havashi and Norbert Adam Szabo, 2 Hungarian athletes, set off from Tenerife, Spain, with a 7-meter or 23 feet double coastal rowing boat aiming at breaking the world record for crossing the Atlantic Ocean. The current world record stands at 40 days, 5 hours and 31 minutes, held by a New Zealand duo team. The pair wants to cover the 5,200 kilometers, more than 3,200 miles, between Tenerife and Antigua in the Caribbean, without an engine or external assistance. Let's sail to the Arctic Ocean. Donald Trump has recently renewed its interest in purchasing Greenland because of its strategic location and mineral resources. However, economic activity in the Arctic Ocean is slowing significantly. The region's extreme cold, lack of infrastructure, and short operational seasons have made Arctic Ocean operations challenging. Climate change is opening new shipping routes, but navigating these waters remains difficult and costly. As we mentioned in a previous show, Norway has recently stopped oil and gas exploration in the Arctic Ocean, a move supported by environmentalists concerned about the fragile ecosystem. Meanwhile, Canada's efforts to build infrastructure for Arctic sea routes continue, while the US plans to expand oil drilling in Alaska's Arctic waters. From one pole to the other, as the journal Inside Climate News reported on Saturday the 11th, scientists are calling for stricter protections in the Southern Ocean due to climate change and commercial fishing putting Antarctic krill at risk. Krill, a key part of the region's food chain, are facing habitat loss due to melting sea ice, which makes them unable to survive and reproduce. In addition, easier access for fishing vessels near the shore due to reduced ice is leading to overfishing. Scientists are pushing to create more marine protected areas to safeguard krill and the species dependent on them, such as whales and penguins. Past efforts saw the establishment of large marine protected areas, but recent discussions show setbacks, including, as we talked about in previous episodes, delegates from China and Russia recently blocking protection measures for the Antarctic Peninsula. In news from the Indian Ocean, on Thursday the 9th, India and France concluded a maritime partnership exercise in the Arabian Sea aimed to demonstrate strong military cooperation and to ensure regional stability. The exercise involved the Indian Navy's INS Mormugao, an indigenously built stealth-guided missile destroyer, and the French Navy's Charles de Gaulle Carrier Strike Group. The Indian Air Force was also present. This exercise improves naval capabilities in the Indian Ocean region, particularly given the increasing challenges posed by China's naval presence. The exercise preceded the Indo-French Maritime Cooperation Dialogue in New Delhi, aimed at addressing security concerns and strengthening bilateral defense in the Indo-Pacific. Let's have a look at the Suez Canal. Container shipping around the Cape of Good Hope will likely continue until at least August 2025, as carriers prioritize stability over returning to the Red Sea. As we talked about in previous episodes, attacks by the Houthi rebels on commercial ships have created a risky environment, leading many carriers to bypass the Suez Canal. Despite recent improvements to the canal's infrastructure, including a new extension allowing two-way traffic and increased daily capacity, carriers are still cautious about reintroducing Suez routes. Shippers are also hesitant due to the financial and operational risks. As a result, diversions around the Cape of Good Hope will likely persist, with adjustments to shipping networks taking several months to implement. From the Suez to the Panama Canal. On Tuesday the 7th, in a news conference at Mar-a-Lago, Florida, Donald Trump said that Chinese soldiers were operating the canal, prompting a strong response from Javier Martinez Acha, Panama's foreign minister, who stressed that Panama alone manages the canal. Panama's government firmly stated that its sovereignty over the Panama Canal is non-negotiable. The government also clarified that no offers had been made by Donald Trump regarding the canal, and it intends to maintain positive relations with the US under future leadership. Now, news from the Black Sea. In an update to a previous story, the recent oil spill following the sinking of two Russian tankers has led to the deaths of at least 32 dolphins along Russia's southern Krasnodar region. The Delpha Dolphin Rescue and Research Center reported that this number is unusually high for winter, when dolphin strandings are typically rare. Most of the dead dolphins were endangered as of dolphins, and the deaths probably occurred within the first 10 days following the spill. Even though no live stranded dolphins have been found, the center expects the number of casualties to rise significantly in the coming months. In other news, Ocean Care and other NGOs have urged Spain's Ministry for Ecological Transition to classify Mediterranean sperm and fin whales as endangered to protect them from ship collisions. These whales face a significant threat from maritime traffic, especially in the northwestern Mediterranean, where collisions are the leading cause of human-induced death. The organizations advocate for reducing ship speed to prevent fatalities and call on Spain to comply with international resolutions and develop recovery plans for these species. Closing with the story of Mauro Morandi, known as Italy's Robinson Crusoe, who recently passed away at age 85, 3 years after living his isolated life on Budeli Island in Sardinia in the Mediterranean Sea. He spent 32 years living alone in a World War II shelter on the island where he had become the caretaker after his catamaran crashed there in 1989 in his original journey aimed to navigate until reaching Polynesia. Morandi wanted to escape society and consumerism, creating a self-sustaining life. In 2021, Italian authorities evicted him and he moved to La Maddalena, a small but civilized Sardinian island. Morandi has since focused on writing memoirs and adjusting to a not anymore isolated life. And that's it for this week. Thank you for joining us. Would you like to be able to read the podcast as you listen to it? We are thinking of adding the text so you can follow along as if there were subtitles. Would you like that? Please write to info@rorschach.com telling us why you would want it. We want to make your experience more enjoyable. See you next week.